After the break, we're talking NFL Draft. It's our last sports update of the semester, so stick around. Welcome back. I'm James Farrar with today's sports update. The first NFL Draft was held in Philadelphia in 1936. Teams chose from a list of 90 players whose names were written on a blackboard. The Philadelphia Eagles made University of Chicago halfback Jay Berwanger the first pick ever selected, although he never played a single down in professional football. There were no NFL insiders or mock drafts coming out every other day. There was no media coverage of any kind. And forget about combines or pro days because none of the teams had scouts. There have been a lot of changes since that first draft, but the most influential was in 1980 when a 24-hour sports network, in its first year of existence, asked then Commissioner Pete Rozelle if it could broadcast the draft. And even though no one thought it would be very entertaining, the network was desperate for content, so they did it anyway. And that was the first year the draft aired live on television. In the 40 years since, ESPN has broadcast every single draft, and the first round ranks as one of the network's most watched programs annually. As for the event itself, it's a 3-day full-scale production that looks like something you'd expect to see headlining a nightly show in Vegas. This year, every pick from first overall to Mr. Irrelevant, which is the title that's given to the last pick in every draft since Kelvin Kirk in 1976, will be broadcast live on no less than 3 different networks at all times. On the NFL calendar, the draft is second only to the Super Bowl.
With the first pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray, quarterback, Oklahoma.
Last night's round 1 began like most experts had been predicting for months, with the Arizona Cardinals taking Oklahoma QB Kyler Murray with the first pick. The main intrigue for the night centered around where the 3 top quarterbacks not named Kyler Murray would go, and how the man Murray was selected to replace Josh Rosen might factor in. With teams like Oakland, the New York Giants, Denver, Cincinnati, Miami, and Washington all possibly in the market for a new signal caller, most experts expected some action early. They just didn't know who or when, as teams decided how much they'd be willing to give up to make sure they got their guy. At the end of the day, though, everyone was content to stay put and let things play out. The result was Daniel Jones going to the Giants at 6 and Dwayne Haskins falling into Washington's lap at 15, while Drew Lock slid out of the first round completely and Josh Rosen stayed put, although probably not for long. Outside of the quarterbacks, it was defense that dominated early, with 7 of the first 10 picks coming from that side of the ball. The draft continues tonight with rounds 2 and 3, then wraps up Saturday with rounds 4 through 7. Since this is our last sports update of the semester, I wanted to thank you for allowing me to come into you a couple times a week and share with you something I'm passionate about. I know it was a little different, and with all the history and details, often made it feel a little long-winded, but hopefully some of you enjoyed it, and who knows, maybe even found out a few things you didn't know before. And with that, I'm James Farrar, and that's all for today's sports update, so let's get you back to the news desk.